Thanks for tuning in. After an intense final leg of campaigning, the third and the last phase of Bihar elections is underway. This evening, we will also know the exit poll projections. We're going to get you a set of exit polls, put them together for you to give you a sense of which way the results may be headed. Now, whether the exit polls are proven right or not, the question will only be answered on 10th of November when we find out the final results. But right now, we're getting you pulse of the voter on ground in Bihar as 78 constituencies in 15 districts have gone to polls today. In the run-up to the third phase, there was a lot of charge and counter-charge, and all of that finally culminated into Nitish Kumar's emotional appeal to his voters on the last day, saying, "This is my last election campaign." Meanwhile, BJP star campaigner Yogi Adityanath reignited the CA debate. We also saw Prime Minister Modi hold a few rallies and directly target Tejasvi Yadav. Prime Minister came up with a double Yuvraj of Jungle Raj comment that was actually made. As of 9 a.m., the voter turnout is on your screens for various constituencies. About 6.83% as far as Kishanganj is concerned, that saw 66%. Almost 67% actually the last time around. So it's a slow start, but remember, winters have begun to set in, so the mornings are a little chilly out there. Maybe more people will turn up a little later. Let's go across to Ayushman, who's in Darbhanga actually, and ask him, Ayushman, how's the turnout been in Darbhanga this morning?
Well, Tanvi, brisk turnout, that is what we can say. Behind me is a polling booth. You can see not much of voters lining up here. Though in the exterior part, in the villages, we are being told that the crowd has started to come and the queue is there where people are coming out to vote. In fact, I have got one old age voter and the other youth voter to understand the pulse as to what they feel of this current election. जो चुनाव यहाँ अभी हो रहा है, हाँ गमछा डाल लीजिए, जो चुनाव भी यहाँ पे हो रहा है उसमें मुद्दा देख के वोट कर रहे हैं या फिर वैसे ही नाम वाली बात चल रही है?
सब तो कोनो मुद्दा के बात नहीं करै छी, हमरा सबके तो वोट देवा के जनता जनार्दन में छी, ओइ के हिसाब से वोट देलियै है।
अच्छा।
और जे छै लोक जे छै से अपन जे कार्यक्रम ककरो हेतै जना जे से अपन काज करैत हेतै।
नीतीश कुमार कहें कि उनका आखिरी चुनाव है, जनता आप कैसे देखते हैं इसको?
आखिरी चुनाव छन कि जे छनि अब आगुओ रहता से अब एकर के कहत गारंटी के लेत, हुनकर यदि आखिरी छन तो हुनका अब सांस जा रहल हेतन, हो बुझ जेतै त अब हम छोड़ देब, जो आब दोसर को जनता हेतै सएह हेतै। अब हुनकर की मन में छनि, अब हम आखिरी चुनाव लड़ै छी, हमरा एहि बेर कनि जिता दिअ, आगा हम फेर छोड़ देबी गद्दी के, वो तो हुनकर विचार छनि।
आप एक युवा वोटर हैं, आप नीतीश कुमार की ये अपील जो है इसको कैसे देखते हैं? आपको लगता है कि ये असर करता है या फिर वो एक तरह से इमोशनल अपील का कार्ड खेल रहे हैं?
नहीं, जीतेंगे आपको नीतीश कुमार ही। हाँ। और हमारा वोट विकास को ही होगा। अच्छा। विकास हुआ है।
हाँ। बेरोजगारी एक मुद्दा है।
बेरोजगारी मुद्दा है तो अगले सीजन में तो वो बेरोजगारी के मुद्दे पे इस बार लड़ रहे हैं।
लेकिन वो तो लड़ नहीं रहे हैं, वो तो तेजस्वी यादव ये कह रहे हैं कि तेजस्वी यादव जॉब की बात करते हैं, नीतीश तो बोलते हैं।
जॉब की बात लालू यादव भी करते थे।
अच्छा।
लेकिन ऐसा हुआ नहीं। हाँ। ठीक है, फेक सरकार है वो लोग, सिर्फ लूटने का काम किए हैं। और हमारा तो यहाँ तक का देखा हुआ है, चूँकि हम लोग यूथ हैं, काम हुआ है। ठीक।
आप नौजवान हैं, आप कह रहे हैं काम हुआ है। तेजस्वी यादव ने पूरा कैंपेन बेरोजगारी पर लड़ा, वो असर लगता है कि ज़मीन पर वो वापस आप लोग रेजोनेट करता है वो फैक्टर?
देखिए, गार्जियन उनका चूँकि एक बार ये गलत काम कर चुके हैं तो लोग भरोसा ही देखता है। अच्छा, बस भरोसा नहीं, गारंटी नहीं, 100% वो फेक है, 100% उसमें कोई काट नहीं है। अच्छा, हम लोग बीजेपी को ही वोट करेंगे।
अच्छा, ठीक है। सो तन्वी, देयर यू हर्ड इट फ्रॉम a young voter not buying the claims of Tejasvi Yadav, saying he is having the baggage of the law and order situation which was there during the 15 years of Lalu Yadav. But clearly, one voter you heard that Nitish Kumar is playing this card because somewhere he is feeling that it is difficult time for him and it is the card that he can play and finally get the attention that he needs in this elections right now. Back to you.
Yeah, well, the young voter clearly also thinks that he is invincible. He's decided not to wear a mask or even to pretend to carry one around, unlike the other voter who at least tried to cover his face with a gamcha while talking to Ayushman. Ayushman, thanks so much for joining us with those voices from our on ground in Darbhanga and other places. For example, the visuals that you are seeing on your screens right now from Kishanganj. In that polling station, there's been a lot more crowd. So it's different for different places right now, Vinay. And also slightly chilly winter morning. So maybe people will now begin to come out a lot more in the day.
Yes, north has been colder than before. I mean, in fact, the chill started setting in end October, which hasn't really happened in several decades. So definitely it's a colder first week of November. Kishanganj you mentioned, because Kishanganj always has one of the highest votings. I mean,
Yes.
last election was about 66%.
Almost 67,
Almost
yeah.
67%.
Yeah.
So they always see a much better turnout. Purania, Kishanganj are very heavy turnout districts in any case. So that's not very surprising. I mean, I'm hoping that in the other, districts of the Kosi belt, there'll be a better turnout, because ultimately that, a reasonable turnout is what ensures a more exciting and interesting election. I mean, the good news has been in the first two phases, at least the turnout has been at par with the previous ones, if not a little bit more, despite pandemic. And
Despite the
pandemic.
But we've seen that the pandemic is not really impacting the mindset of the people in Bihar. Many of them, in fact, if in the last phase, where our reporters were talking to the voters on ground and they asked them this question about what your issues are. Some said that, well, we know that the candidates are all the same pretty much, but we still believe it's our right to come out and vote. So very conscious about the fact that this is our right and we must go out and vote.
Oh, yes.
So irrespective of the cold weather or pandemic, the turnout is
Yeah, I
there.
mean, look, Bihar, despite being lower in terms of literacy and education levels from the rest of the country, they're politically very aware and they're very conscientious in that sense. I mean, they have always understood politics much better. And I think, look, Bihar has also been the laboratory of social movements in India, the first. I mean, Bihar is the original laboratory of social movements, from Karpuri Thakur to JP movement to all of these socialistic movements that, changed the course of Indian politics, started from Bihar. So their level of political awareness, in fact, they are very well read. They're well read in the sense of knowledge and awareness of what's happening around them is much higher than other states. They're very aware, conscious of realities around them. They're also, I think, a little fatalistic. So they kind of accept, things which probably in other states and other parts of the country people don't accept. And that's also one reason why you see that, look, for instance, in the south of India, Tanvi, if you see, there is a competing welfare politics that happens. It's heavily competitive between parties and even between states, where they compete for welfare politics.
Yeah.
Bihar, you don't really see much of welfare politics. I think the one example of welfare politics you saw in the last election was when Nitish decided to distribute free cycles to women, or to girls. That was the first visible big symbol of welfare politics that you saw. It did have some dividends. But apart from that, you don't really see much of that, because they're fairly, okay even with something not so huge. They're just asking for very basic things. And that's also a bit of a tragedy for that state, that they're happy
It comes back to the point that we were making earlier, that especially the phase 3, the areas that we're seeing, witnessing polling today are the more backward in that sense. And so for people over here, just to get the basics is perhaps, meeting their expectations. Beyond that, there isn't much. And is that why also, when in these areas, identity politics or caste-based, in religion-based or even sub-caste-based politics works a lot more?
It does. But look, can you imagine if there is a place or there is a district or there is a series of villages where 3 years or 4 years in a row flood comes and wipes out everything you have? Which other state will be so tolerant of that? Which other people will be so tolerant of that? I mean, in this part, when our reporters were going and covering it before the polling day, there were people who said that they just take it they are so used to the idea of floods coming and destroying everything that they start taking out their basics from the house, everything they can save, and they just move to a higher ground, maybe a highway or a road or wherever. They pitch their tents, wait out for the floods to go back, and then they go back home. They just gotten so used to that because they don't expect anything. But you're right. I mean, it does play a role. Identity politics has always been linked to development, and there is a bit of a countervailing force that exists. So neither is divorced from the other. It's not as if everything happens on the grounds of identity politics, and not everything happens because of development either. It just gets dovetailed into two. And also, some parties have practiced the politics of using identity politics and development, and that's why you see the inconsistency in the regions. I mean, there are some regions like this has never been bothered by any political party, including even Nitish Kumar. I mean, this, despite him being at the helm for 15 years, this place has not developed as much as it should have because it doesn't suit his identity politics as much.
Nitish Kumar, in fact, was the one credited to the social engineering of the backward classes. He took all of the, scheduled castes and put them together and coined this term Mahadalits. And tried to put them all under this umbrella of Mahadalits and saying that, I'm going to do a lot more for you, which was about 10 years ago. How much of that has then subsequently helped him, Vinay, in consolidating that vote bank?
No, of course. Look, he was in that sense the original social engineering master. I mean, the EBC vote bank was carved out by Nitish Kumar, but then it created other problems. The other problem was that once he started carving out EBC vote bank, their assertiveness grew. But that then angered the Yadavs as much and the upper caste votes. And that's why if you see, the upper caste votes are now solidly behind the BJP, which at one point of time the Congress used to command. And the Yadavs have started rallying around. I mean, they've always rallied around the RJD more than other parties. But there is that consolidation that happens as well. So now you have competing forces because, the engineering or social engineering in Bihar is much more, it's not a monolith, it's different things. Also, BP Mandal, the original architect of the Mandal movement in India, comes from this part. This is the region where BP Mandal belonged to. And his name and his role may be known outside of the state for different reasons, but in Bihar, that has also become a factor to a large extent. And if you see, reservation demands are also being made by the upper caste in Bihar. And there is no bigger evidence the reservation works to a large extent when you have upper caste also demanding for it because they think there is a benefit for it. And remember, Bihar and UP are two states where government jobs and government employment is of huge value, I mean, massive value in that state.
It's still given priority over everything else.
Yeah, I'll recount a small story to you, Tanvi, and that will give you an example of how the mindset there works. I mean, long back, this is 2004, when Rabri Devi was the chief minister and Lalu was governing in absentia, so to speak. We were covering that election and we were at Lalu's house because every evening reporters would gather at his house and one of his aides came to him and he said that he mentioned a name to him that person wants to meet you, and Lalu appeared extremely irritated on why he's being pushed to meet this person. But because that person was influential in 4 or 5 villages, he finally agreed to meet. So this person comes inside and he tells Lalu, he asks him, "Kya chahiye?" So he says, "Ki hand pump nahi hai hamare yahan. I want you to give us some hand pumps." So he said, "Kitne hand pump chahiye?" तो उसने बोला कि सर 3 गांव हैं, उसमें करीब 3000 घर है, अगर आप 30 पंप भी लगवा दोगे मेरा काम हो जाएगा, मतलब it's 30 pumps will be good enough. So he says, "ठीक है, you go, I'll tell my aides." So he goes out. 2 minutes after the guy leaves, he calls his aide and he says, 10 pump लगा देना, इसको दिलवा दो. So we asked Lalu that he has asked for 30, why have you given him 10? So he admonished us. He says, "You guys don't understand politics. If he asks for 30 and I give him 30, he won't come back to me. His job is done. So I'll never leave him fully satisfied. I'll leave him wanting for more." That's the politics that they have played for a long time, where if you ask for something, they will only give you 1/3 of it because it keeps your hopes alive, but it keeps you wanting for more. And that's something that he practiced all through the 15 years. Still, the people realize that it's not working for them.
I mean, getting 1/3 actually would also be a great thing. In most cases, if you look at the way Bihar has developed, or in many other parts of our country, voters don't even get that much from their politicians in terms of promises made or demands made and what is actually delivered. Aarti is standing by with a bigger consolidated list of X factors that we're watching out for in phase 3 of this election. Aarti.
Well, this particular region is a stronghold of the RJD. Now, I know comparisons to 2015 may not really hold right now because the complete political scenario has changed between 2015 and 2020. But in this particular area, back in 2015, the RJD won 20-odd seats. The JDU, which was then in an alliance with the RJD, won 23 seats, and the Congress won 11. So 54 of the seats that they got 54 seats, the Mahagathbandhan from this particular region. So it is their their stronghold. The BJP, on the other hand, which is of course contesting under very different circumstances, got 20 seats. This particular area that is going to polls, which includes Simanchal, Kosi, Tirut, are all strongholds of the RJD, and they are so because largely they comprise areas which are dominated by Muslims and Yadavs, both of whom are the traditional vote bank of the RJD. About 68 odd seats from those that are going to polls in this phase can be influenced by the Yadav vote, and about 25 of them can be influenced by the Muslim vote. So these are extremely crucial factors, and that's one of the reasons that we have seen over the past few days between the second phase and the third phase, the kind of discourse in this election changing as well. They've had issues which perhaps would generate more polarization, like Pakistan, Pulwama, CAA. We've seen those issues gain more traction and them coming up for more discussion now. There is another issue, of course, in this region which counts a lot, and that is unemployment. It's one of the most backward areas of this particular, of Bihar in itself. So that's going to be an important issue that comes into play as well. And of course, Kosi, the region Kosi is known notoriously for getting flooded every year, and no effort made by government after government to actually alleviate the problem. So those are the two issues that are going to be at play here. Now, as far as the Congress party is concerned, there have been a lot of questions about whether too many tickets have been given to a party that doesn't perhaps warrant that much faith in them, given how they've been performing electorally. So can the RJD's votes here transfer to the Congress? Or will the Congress be the weakest link in this alliance is going to be important here, because this is the RJD's fortress, and they're going to be hoping that the Congress doesn't really drag them down in this phase. Now, also, there is an important crucial factor in this election, in this particular phase, and that is that of Asaduddin Owaisi. There is a third alliance that is in play here, which is the RLSP, AIMIM of Asaduddin Owaisi, and the BSP. Now, these parties are not expected to make, to gain a lot of seats, but there is going to be a huge impact in terms of they're expected largely to eat into the RJD's votes, and which is why often they're accused of being the B team of the BJP. But that factor is going to be very crucial. Like you have the LJP eating into the JDU's votes, you're also going to have this particular alliance eating into possibly the RJD's vote. So a very crucial factor, a lot at stake for the RJD, because if they don't manage to retain this area, then it is going to be tough for them. But for the NDA itself, this is an area which they're going to try and seek foothold into. They've given a lot of focus to this area. We've seen a lot of the Prime Minister and the top leadership invest in this area. On the eve of elections, you also saw them announce an airport in Darbhanga, which is going to polls in this phase. So there has been a concentrated effort by the NDA as well to reach out in this area. So it is an interesting phase. It is the last phase, and it's one that is just 3 days. Of course, we are away from knowing who's going to form the next government in Bihar. And this is basically the curtains being drawn on the Bihar elections.
Yes, and what a classic way for the curtains to come down on Bihar elections, when you had the chief minister, three-time chief minister, saying, "This is my last campaign." He's not fighting these elections, but he's definitely campaigning and leading the party and hoping to become chief minister one last time at least. Aarti Subramaniam, thanks so much for bringing all of those insights together. One thing that I do want to talk about right now, Vinay, with you, is also what we've one of the candidates in this phase, which is Mukesh Sahni, and his party, the VIP, that's also changed camps and alliances. What factor do you see him and VIP play in this election?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big X factor, because look, a lot of political leaders in Bihar believe that he's overrated. He does seem to have influence in the Malla community, the fishermen and the boatmen who, dominate the region along the banks. And whether that support base is enough electorally, arithmetic-wise, to give him more seats is still to be tested. I mean, he hasn't really managed many, except for getting 2 seats, he hasn't really done significantly well in terms of arithmetic.
The BJP has given him still quite a bit of share from their own quota.
From their own quota, principally because they believe that the addition of this particular vote share, which is about, I think, 3.5%, 3.6% or whatever, will help them in the overall game. which is their idea of social engineering, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it is VIP or whether it is HAM, it is their idea of social engineering in many ways. So he's a bit of an X factor till now, and he's a new emergent party. I mean, so people he hasn't been tested enough at the political hustings, so to speak. I mean, he's been around only for about 3 years or so. And he's also got a very interesting background. I mean, he's a very unusual, unlike politician, somebody who actually started working in the Bollywood film industry. He's a set designer in Bombay, did a lot of Salman Khan films. Most of the Salman Khan, or large number of Salman Khan films, set designing was done by him and his company. And then, for whatever reason, he suddenly had political ambitions where he realized he could encash the community he comes from, had good financial, strength, so to speak. In fact, converted one green vanity van into a Rath, which became a political Rath for him. And that particular conversion happened in Film City in Goregaon, not very far from here, where he emblazoned the Rath with all kinds of faces. It had faces of all the top leaders of BJP, of Bihar, like Karpuri Thakur, JP. It had pictures of Abdul Kalam, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Narasimha Rao. So it was quite an aggregate of different faces, which people were trying very hard to decipher politically on what he stood for. And then he carried that Rath to that part of the state and started campaigning, or at least reaching out to people. That seems to have had some impact and benefit for sure. Enough for the BJP to give him 11 seats.
Correct,
So it's going to be very interesting to watch out how many dividends he actually gives to the party.
Well, his party is called the VIP, or the Vikashsheel Insan Party. Not the only one with some kind of a Bollywood connection in this election season. We have a lot of those who've attempted their fate or tried their luck in Bollywood, including Chirag Paswan, and then some in cricket as well, and have all ended up relatively young faces in Bihar politics this time.
Yeah, I mean, look at how the world changes in less than 3 months. The one Bollywood factor that we all thought
is not being talked about.
The Sushant Singh case is not even being mentioned by anybody.
Right.
In fact, the mascot of that case, Gupteshwar Pandey, is nowhere to be seen.
Right.
I mean, he's completely missing. He's been dumped completely.
Absolutely.
And I think he's now beginning to understand what politics is all about.
It's happened twice to him now.
It's happened twice to him now.
Twice he's quit the police force to join the politics in the hope of getting a ticket and fighting elections. Twice he's miserably failed. We don't know if he will continue to try with the JDU, but he did. He came back. Nitish Kumar brought back Gupteshwar Pandey, made him the top boss, and then this Sushant case unfolded. And just after that deed was done and the case had been handed over to the CBI, Mr. Pandey retired and joined politics in JDU again. But that's obviously not resonated with people so much during election time, contrary to what many thought 3 months ago. Let's go across to Sharon Elizabeth, joining us from Muzaffarpur. Sharon is in Sahu Road, I'm told. Sharon, is the turnout getting any better, or more people now coming in?
Well, till 9 a.m., the voter turnout has been, in fact, 7.69%, probably because the temperature here has dipped comparatively in the last 2 phases. So probably people are taking their own sweet time to come to the polling center. Right now, I'm reporting from one of the polling centers in Muzaffarpur, which is all women polling station. So you can see the way it has been decorated in order to ensure that women in large number do come here. All the staff here who are deployed here are all women, and you can see voters are coming, taking their own selfies. But when we talk about Muzaffarpur, in fact, what the locals have been saying is the second town after Patna. Now, after Patna city, Muzaffarpur is the second town, and they expected that there will be development when we talk about a town, but there has been no development so far. We have seen, Tanvi, we have been in fact traveling throughout Muzaffarpur. There are open gutters everywhere. There is no road or infrastructure that is properly here. Even when the two-time MLA, the BJP MLA, is none other than a cabinet minister for housing and for urban development and housing minister. So why is it that people are suffering is the question that all of them have been asking. In fact, I'm joined by Mukund Sharma, who is also a journalist, एक पत्रकार भी है और वो यहाँ के लोकल भी हैं और उनको काफ़ी यहाँ की समस्याएं मालूम है, इनकी पॉलिटिक्स जो डायनामिक्स है वो मालूम है। मुकुंद जी, आप यहाँ पे काफ़ी साल से काम कर रहे हैं, क्या है यहाँ की समस्याएं और क्या है पॉलिटिकल डायनामिक्स क्या है यहाँ पे?
यहाँ के जो विधायक रहे हैं टाउन के, वो अपने 5 साल की अवधि में कोई काम किए नहीं। तो लोग उनके अगेंस्ट हैं। और जो बीजेपी के कैडर वोटर हैं वो भी उनको वोट इस बार नहीं कर रहे हैं। और जो इसके पूर्व जो विधायक थे विजेंद्र चौधरी, वो 3 बार यहाँ से विधायक रह चुके हैं, तो उन्होंने काम करवाया था, तो काफ़ी लोग उनको इस बार वोट दे रहे हैं। और जो स्थिति है उसमें लग रहा है कि चुनाव वही जीतेंगे यहाँ से।
तो काफ़ी यहाँ पे नाराज़गी है कि मिनिस्टर है फिर भी आप यहाँ पे वोट करने आए हैं। सर आपको क्या लगता है कि मुजफ्फरपुर में क्या समस्या है?
मुजफ्फरपुर में तो मैम बहुत समस्या ही है, क्योंकि हम लोग का बेरोजगारी देखा जा रहा है। 3 महीने से हम लोग लॉकडाउन में बैठे हुए थे, हम लोग जॉब करते हैं, और प्लस क्या है कि अभी कुछ ये है नहीं।
अभी बिल्कुल अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट आपका एक प्रायोरिटी है कि नौकरी मिलनी चाहिए।
जी जी जी।
और ये जो हम देख रहे हैं कि ये शहर बताते हैं मुजफ्फरपुर को, लेकिन हम कहीं से भी पूरा एकदम नाला खुला हुआ है, कुछ भी ढंग से कोई
ये तो कोई ये नहीं है। नाला तो अभी हमारे इधर वार्ड नंबर में बना है, तो नाला तो अभी जो खुला हुआ है, उसके बाद में डेंगू उंगू ये बहुत कुछ हो रहा है। और नाला जो बंद है, जो बंद है तो मुश्किल से 10 दिन में टूट जा रहा है ऊपर का सिला, और जो माल मटेरियल है वो सही नहीं दे रहा है।
अभी जो आपके एमएलए हैं वो यहाँ के मंत्री हैं, नीतीश जी के मंत्री भी थे, अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री के थे वो, आपको लगता है उस हिसाब से काम हुआ है यहाँ पे?
उस हिसाब से तो मैम कुछ भी काम नहीं हुए यहाँ, तो देखा जा रहा है हम लोग तो यही है, कुछ भी काम नहीं है यहाँ मुजफ्फरपुर में।
So clearly, Tanvi, there is a lot of disappointment and also various issues that the people are coming here to vote. One is, of course, unemployment, like this gentleman told us. Second is, of course, the development vikas, which is in fact missing, is what a number of people have been saying. But right now, this is one of the polling stations from where we are reporting, and it is all women. We'll speak to more people here. Sir, आपने वोट कर दिया है?
हाँ, दे दिया वोट।
क्या है मुद्दे यहाँ के जो इस पे आपने वोट किया है?
हो गया, जो बोलना था बोल दिया, हो गया।
समस्याएं तो काफी होंगी यहाँ पे, आपको लगता है?
समस्या बहुत है, समस्या को पूरा कर सकता है सरकार, नहीं करता है।
नहीं
करता है। भूखा मार रहा है। लॉकडाउन करके भूखा मार दिया पब्लिक को, आवाम को। इससे क्या उम्मीद किया जाता है?
Clearly,
दे दिया।
So clearly, once again, like in phase 2, there are a number of people who are disappointed. They are saying that there's not going to be any point. They are hopeless when they come to, but it is their exercise to vote, and that is why they are coming. This gentleman also has been saying that during the lockdown, there has been no work, there has been no employment that was given, there was no food that was available. So clearly, a lot of issues, local issues, when we talk about, is something that the people are coming and voting on, Tanvi.
Sharon, where you are standing, the ladies have definitely gone, overboard in setting and decorating that place up. It doesn't look like a polling station anymore, honestly speaking. I can also hear some Govinda songs playing in the background. It seems like more like a festive occasion there. But are there enough of poll officials there ensuring that people wear their mask? I saw many of them not following the COVID norms.
Well, yes, like you rightly pointed out, when we entered as well, we also thought that this is a very festive mood over here. But you can see that there are a number of staff that has been deployed. There is NCC cadre guides as women, girls who are in fact deployed here. Large number of women staff is also here. There have been, yes, number of people were not wearing masks, but they have been in fact stopped and they have been asked to wear a proper mask, and then only they will be allowed to vote. So there is in the background also there is some 90s Bollywood music that is also being played. People are taking selfies as well. We will try to speak to more people over here. Sir, आप मास्क नहीं पहन के आए सर?
मास्क कहाँ दिया गया यहाँ?
दिया ही नहीं आपको मास्क?
नहीं मिला मास्क।
घर से पहन के आ जाते?
घर पर गंदा था मास्क, इसलिए छोड़ दिया था, यूज किया हुआ था।
आप भी नहीं मास्क पहन?
मास्क है ना, अभी निकले हैं तो हटा
अच्छा, सेल्फी लेने के लिए आपने मास्क लगाया। क्या समस्या है मुजफ्फरपुर की?
बेरोजगारी बहुत है, उसके बाद शिक्षा व्यवस्था पूरा चौपट है, और विकास तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है मुजफ्फरपुर में। विकास पुत्र अपने आप को बताते हैं सुरेश शर्मा, कोई काम नहीं किए हैं।
मंत्री है वो यहाँ के, फिर भी
नगर विकास मंत्री सिर्फ अपने एजेंसी का विकास करते हैं और कुछ नहीं करते हैं।
आपको क्या लगता है क्या समस्या है?
बस ये समझ यहाँ बेरोजगारी, लाचारी, नाला, गंदा पानी, रोड टूटा हुआ, ये सब कुछ होबे नहीं किया आज तक। बस वो सुरेश शर्मा अपना विकास कर रहे हैं, अपना एजेंसी का और एम्स का विकास कर रहे हैं, हॉस्पिटल खोल रहे हैं, लेकिन मुजफ्फरपुर वासी को कुछ नहीं मिला अभी तक.
Big allegation coming from the voters that Suresh Kumar Sharma, who is Nitish Kumar's mantri, is only pushing his personal interest. There is no much work that has been done here. Here you can see number of people who are taking selfies here. आपने वोट कर लिया सर?
जी कर लिया.
क्या समस्या है दिमाग में?
समाज में बहुत परेशानी है. ये बच्चे लोग का नौकरी चाकरी में दिक्कत है. उसके बाद में सुधार नहीं है. विकास के नाम पर झूठा ये वादा करते हैं. हम बदलाव चाहते हैं. हाँ, बदलाव चाहते हैं.
आप लोग यूथ हैं, सारे नौजवान हैं यहाँ पे. आप लोग क्या दिमाग में रख के आज वोट?
जी मैम, हम लोग आज वोट कर रहे हैं ये सोच के कि बदलाव हो, विकास हो. अभी तक कुछ विकास नहीं हुआ. अभी भी मोती झील में थोड़ा सा पानी बरसता है, 10 बूंद 5 बूंद 20 बूंद पानी बरसता है. पूरा मोती झील कल्याणी और पूरा ही भर जाता है, पूरा शहर भर जाता है. मोती झील मुजफ्फरपुर का नामी ग्रामी माना जाता है. तुरंत भर जाता है, कोई विकास नहीं हुआ है.
बाढ़ आती है तो पूरा यहाँ पे पानी भर जाता है.
सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा हम लोग का बेरोजगारी है. तो 15 साल से हम लोग बेरोजगार युवा हम लोग हैं, घूम रहे ऐसे ही यूं ही.
जहाँ तहाँ रिज्यूम के लिए रिज्यूम लेके जाते हैं मॉल में, जगह जगह फ्लिपकार्ट और कहीं भी रिज्यूम ले लेता है कि जाइए आपको कॉल किया जाएगा. कोई रोजगार नहीं, कहीं कोई कॉल नहीं आता.
मॉल जैसे आप बता रहे हैं, आप रेज्यूमे लेके जाते हैं, मॉल कितना दूर है यहाँ से? कितना दूर में जाना पड़ता है आपके?
बगल में ही है, सब आसपास में है.
तो ये एक शहर ही है, लेकिन लग नहीं रहा है कहीं से शहर है.
नहीं. हल्की बारिश में पूरे शहर डूब जाती है. अभी आप देखेंगे पूरे शहर में हर जगह जल जमाव होगा चारों तरफ. अभी बारिश अभी नहीं हो रही है, फिर भी शहर जल जमाव से भरा हुआ है. शहर का हर कोना. जी.
आपको क्या लगता है? आपके
चेंजिंग ज़रूरी है. विकास नहीं हो पा रहा है. पिछले 10 साल से इनको मौका मिला है, कुछ विकास नहीं कर पाए हैं. तो हम लोग सोच रहे हैं कि इस बार चेंजिंग ज़रूरी है.
जनता के बीच में रहते भी नहीं सुरेश शर्मा जी.
अच्छा, जनता के बीच
नहीं रहते हैं.
सो क्लियरली नंबर ऑफ इश्यूज. हाँ जी.
मंत्री जी हैं तो बोले यहाँ नहीं है, पटना चले गए, दिल्ली चले गए. झूठ बहुत बोलते हैं मंत्री जी. आते नहीं हैं. और ये कोई भी ऐसा मंत्री थे, विधायक, जब बुलाए श्राद्ध हो, शादी हो बच्ची के, उसमें वो आ जाते थे, लेकिन ये आते नहीं हैं. ये झूठ बहुत बोलते हैं.
So clearly a lot of people are disappointed by Suresh Kumar Sharma, who is in fact the minister in Nitish cabinet. They have been saying he has hardly come over here. There has been no development that has been done here. So right now people are trickling in. Though the voter turnout has been disappointing since 9 a.m., we are hoping that more and more people will be turning out, Tanvi.
All right, Sharon, thanks so much for bringing us really, a wide variety of voices from the voters in Muzaffarpur, where there is a lake, a jheel and a mall, but roads are still very difficult to find.
Yeah. No, actually Moti Jheel is an area also. It's not just a lake. It's actually the name of an area. In fact, it's the main area of Muzaffarpur. And yeah, and it's an annual thing. It's not something that happens once. It's perennially flooded. Every year it happens. So there is a mall for sure. The Moti Jheel market is a very well-known market in Muzaffarpur. In fact, it's a big landmark. If somebody has to be guided, they will usually be told Moti Jheel market jao, wahan se right ho jao. So Moti Jheel is a known market. It also has a mall. It's supposed to be. But I think the swankiest place in Muzaffarpur currently is this polling station.
Correct.
They seem to have invested quite a lot in here.
Correct. I mean, that was very, very beautiful that. But just one quick comment from you also, Vinay, on these model polling booths that we've seen. Usually whoever is in charge goes overboard in decorating the place. There are selfie booths now. There are always, balloons, lots of messaging and posters which are there, flowers in this case. What's the idea behind these model polling stations?
Well, I'm presuming the idea behind this is to get people or encourage them to come out and vote. I mean, you just feel good about the fact that you come and voted in a nice, neat, beautifully decorated polling station. But I've personally had a bit of a crib about this whole thing about model polling stations. I mean, you really cannot have an inconsistency to the level that here you have a model polling station which has carpets and everything is swanky, white empanels, people standing with boards and selfie points and all kinds of jazz, artificial flowers. And you had just a neighboring district, you have a polling station where there is not even a road to go. It was a ditch. The reporter was showing us that you had a pagdandi which was leading to the polling station. So I don't quite understand. I mean, yes, it probably helps people or encourages them to come out and vote. But I don't believe every station should be model station. I mean, you can't distinguish that X will be model and Y will not be model. It will be just another station. I mean, I don't understand this.
That definitely looked like a Shadi ka banquet hall, though.
Yes.
But because some of the voters, they were talking about the minister who is never available. We did have a comment coming in from Suresh Sharma, Minister of Urban Development and Housing Department of Bihar. Let's listen into that.
मैं यही अपील करूंगा कि मुजफ्फरपुर को सुंदर शहर बनाने के लिए जो यह चुनाव हो रहा है स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने के लिए, इसमें लोग अच्छी तरह से बिल्कुल स्पष्ट तौर से निष्पक्ष तौर से शहर को सुंदर बनाने के लिए अपना मतदान करें। केंद्र सरकार, बिहार सरकार मुजफ्फरपुर को स्मार्ट सिटी में चयनित किया है, 2000 करोड़ रुपया दिया है। उसको बनाने के लिए वह कमल फूल पर अपना निशान दे, निशान भी नहीं, मैं ये कहूँगा कि विकास के लिए वो मतदान करें।
All right, so there you heard from the Urban Development Minister talking about making Muzaffarpur a smart city, and that's what people should vote about. But you heard what the voters also had to say. We're going to slip into a very short break. Lots more on the other side. Stay with me.